Free advice is not hard to get. I've gotten plenty in my time, and I suppose you have too. Some of that advice has been pretty good. Some of it was unsolicited, but still good. Others was most unwise, even though asked for. Advice, the good and the bad. That's our topic on today's Daily Devotions. Thanks for being with me on today's broadcast. I'm Pastor Bob Russell of the Grace Brethren Church in Rittman, your devotional leader. I'm praying that God will help us both in this time of looking to the Word of God and applying our hearts to His wisdom. To help us to get ready to look into the Word, let's pause to hear this song.
Living below in this old sinful world, hardly a comfort can afford. Striving alone to face temptation sore, where could I go but to the Lord? Where could I go? Where could I go? Seeking a refuge for my soul.
Advice, the good and the bad. Proverbs 19:20 says, "Listen to counsel and accept discipline, that you may be wise the rest of your days." There are those who count themselves as God's gift to humanity. They usually don't have anywhere near the wisdom they claim. It is clouded by the pressure and complexities of things we have been close to for too long. As the saying goes, we can't see the trees for the forest. Or does that saying go the other way around? At any rate, sometimes we need a word of wisdom from someone else to help us sort through the facts, the non-facts, the half-facts, and the artifacts. We can't really expect someone else to make major decisions for us, of course. We would probably be disappointed if they tried, but it is amazing how much more clear things can look to us when a clear head has helped us think through some probing questions and has pointed out some of the pertinent issues which are at stake. Where, though, do we go to find someone who is really safe and reliable to listen to? A moment ago I referred to Proverbs 19:20. Let me read you now verse 21 of that same chapter. "Many are the plans in a man's heart, but the counsel of the Lord, it will stand." You see, to the serious, Bible-believing Christian, the obvious first choice of a counselor is God Himself. Through the Bible, as the Spirit of God teaches and unfolds it to us, we especially grasp the precise moral will of God, which in itself often gives us answers to many specific questions. It's amazing how many things are solved just by insights from the Word of God about God's moral will. But the Bible also gives us principles to apply to other situations about which the Bible does not directly speak. The book of Proverbs, for example, helps us a great deal in that area. And so we rightfully turn to God when we need wisdom. We ask, Lord, give me wisdom, give me insight. Counsel me in your ways so that I might not make a mistake in this matter. Men, of course, might lead us astray, maybe not intentionally, but God never will. But then we might want to consider, as we continue on in our thinking about this matter of advice, that one of the means by which God may choose to lead us in wisdom is through the counsel he gives other people who may share that counsel with us, people to whom we can go and talk. It should be clear that when we are going to go out to seek advice, we ought to be careful in our choice of counselors. We ought to choose only those who themselves are generally known for the wisdom they have manifested in the conducting of their own lives. Furthermore, they ought to be those who are known for godliness and consistent spirituality. The reason I say that is that many people have a fairly good dose of what we would call horse sense, and yet fail to grasp or value the wisdom of God. They therefore often will fail to understand some of the basic scriptural issues which will count as highly significant in your decision-making processes. Proverbs 24:6 says, "For by wise guidance you will wage a war, and in abundance of counselors there is victory." There is indeed a time to carefully seek out the counsel of spiritually minded folk, especially those who have experience and expertise in the area in which we are dealing. As we carefully and prayerfully bring together God's wisdom through the Word and the insights given to us by wise counselors, we can expect to find reasonable, reliable guidance. I know this is never easy, and I'm not pretending that I'm giving you some quick little magical formula. But God never deliberately keeps us in the dark. He may unfold only one step of his plan at a time, but then that is enough, for we can only make one step at a time. If you need some advice, I hope you'll be able to find the right sources for that advice and that counsel today, starting with God himself. Thank you for listening to Daily Devotions. This is Pastor Bob Russell of the Grace Brethren Church of Rittman, Ohio, your devotional leader.